That's what we have going on. Oh my god, it's Steph. Hi, Steph. We gotta give Steph mod. We love Steph. For those of you who don't know, Steph is the wonderful wife of Mr. Ryan Hall. And of course, we all know who Ryan is, and we all love Ryan. Ryan is actually the one who's making it possible for both Caleb and I to be here today. You can hear Drake? That's so weird because I don't have Drake playing. Do you have Drake playing? That's so weird.
No.
Is it like music in the background, guys? I don't know.
Yeah, there's
There's
definitely not
music?
Drake playing on your stream.
There's definitely not Drake. Okay, well, if you guys
No.
can hear Drake, that's funny because I can't hear Drake and Caleb can't hear Drake. Ryan's listening? Oh no, that's scary. That's scary. Well, you can tell Ryan that he can relax as this entire event is trash. And there's really nothing going on, but we're here nonetheless because there is hail and hail. There was music for a bit. Dude, what in the world? Where did we get music from? That's so funny. Hopefully I don't get copyright striked because somehow there was music playing. Caleb is loud. Alright, hold on. Let me turn down my desktop audio. Caleb, do you want to try talking again?
Yeah, I can talk again. I turned down my mic on my end too. So that
Was he...
should solve
Yeah,
our
was he...
problem.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it's better. You were peaking and then some. Sounds super exciting. It's not. And in fact, we just had one of our destructive severe thunderstorm warnings get canceled and reissued as a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, which means it's considerably trash. No, that's not what it means. It means that this is still a strong severe thunderstorm and we should be in our safe spots unless you want to get hit in the face with a giant chunk of ice. It doesn't feel good, trust me, I've done it. Anyways, we can see Ryan is still just sitting there in Rush Center. I know he's actually having significant car issues today. I was watching his stream earlier, and his shifter cable came loose. So he had to pull over on the side of the road, and his car is quite literally held together with super glue right now. And yeah, that's probably going to be the end of the fusion as long as chasing goes. But Ryan has certainly had an exciting day. Ryan Scholl, not Ryan Hall. Actually, Caleb, did Ryan have an exciting day today? Do you know anything?
I mean, I'd say we had a pretty good day. Filmed some ads.
Filmed some ads. We love ads. Ads
Did
make
some
the world go
workouts.
round. Some workouts. Yeah, I saw you guys went to the Y.
Played some volleyball. It's a pretty good day.
Played some volleyball. Dang, without me. Guys, I should end this college stuff and get back to Kentucky. Anyways, we're going to check in with Ryan Scholl quick. We actually have contact with him on Zello, just like Ryan does. Hey Ryan, we're live. Would you care to give us an update on what you're seeing out there? I see that you're close to that destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and it looks like there may possibly be a sign of rotation on radar. We'll give him a second. The overlay blew your ears hole.
Currently not seeing much. I'm battling a lot of low-level clouds, so as I get closer to this thing on Highway 96 to my east, I will give you an update.
Oh, alright, so Ryan's out there. The beep was super loud. Dang it, we're cursed by the same overly loud overlay that Mr. Ryan Hall has. Alright, so I turned it down significantly. Hopefully next time we don't blow your guys' ears out. How's my audio, guys? Because it looks like my audio might be a little loud as well. Obviously, like I said before, this is our first live stream, so we are still just trying to get things right. But, hey, everyone starts somewhere. You gotta start somewhere, or you don't start at all. Just taking a look at radar here. Actually, give me my pen. I need my pen. Yeah, there's our pen. Just taking a look at radar here. Here is the storm that Ryan Scholl is targeting, and the one thing that I'm looking at that could make this storm do something is right here. There's this outflow boundary from this other area of storms. There is a chance that when this outflow boundary slaps this storm, it could produce a spin-up tornado. Other than that, I really don't see too much potential as far as tornadoes go for the rest of the day. We are starting to move out of the favorable environment. But there is still a chance, and if that happens, we're going to be right here watching it. Taking a look at further out, there is more storms up here to the north in Nebraska. This is more of just a good old wind bag. If you like wind, well, guess what? You're probably going to get some wind. We can see a large area of... Where's my pen? My pen's not working. See, I told you, nothing ever works on the first try. Right here, we see this large area of wind that has had surface reports greater than 60 miles an hour. Obviously, that is above the severe threshold, and this is pretty much this entire line of storms that we're expecting to see this with, and it's going to be like that for the rest of the night until we finally see these storms fall apart somewhere near the Iowa-Missouri border. Back down here to the south, wow, that's really, really disinteresting. There's, however, a lot of hail reports, although I don't buy it. What time were these? 10:59, so that's like half an hour ago? No way. Whoever this man is, these public people making these law enforcement... There's our issue. Law enforcement, they like to lie with severe weather. Don't tell them I said that, but it's true. If you guys know anything about weather, and you've been into weather for a long time, you've probably heard of the joke of a sheriff NATO. A sheriff NATO is when there is a law enforcement confirmed tornado. This normally means there's literally nothing going on. So we should probably be taking these storms seriously if they issue a severe thunderstorm warning from the NWS. However, we should probably just take these law enforcement confirmed things with a little grain of salt because they like to be slightly dramatic, in all honesty. Caleb, you see anything over there on your side?
So there's nothing really on the severe weather side that you haven't mentioned. However, I did just notice that the latest update from the National Hurricane Center with Tropical Storm Philippe right now has the track hitting and making landfall in either Maine or Nova Scotia. So we're going to see another situation like we saw a couple weeks ago.
Another Nova Scotia hurricane? We got to take a look at that. What are you doing here, Phil? Oh my, yep, there it is. Philip, what do you think you're doing? This is crazy, because I don't think I remember another system making landfall out here in Maine, other than 3 years ago. I forget the name, but is that something you recall, Ryan? Or Ryan? Caleb? Sorry, I was looking at Ryan's name.
I think pretty much every year there's like one system that makes landfall, either in Maine or in Nova Scotia. But this year it seems like there's definitely been an uptick in the amount of storms that have made landfall in that general vicinity. Right, they're like going up into the Bay of Fundy. I imagine we'll see very similar. I don't even remember what the name of the storm was that went up there like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. That was... No, I don't remember either.
Yeah, it's gone for the life of me. I talked about it so much for like 2 weeks, and now it's like irrelevant. But I definitely think that the likelihood of seeing another event like that, very similar to the amount of storm surge they got, could be possible with yet another tropical storm literally with its target set on the Bay of Fundy right now. So
And speaking of that, storm surge, I do remember taking a look at the Weather Prediction Center outlooks earlier, and there is a chance of flash flooding in that area. Somehow I can't find it now. That's normally how it goes, but I remember seeing a slight risk off in the New England region. And if you live anywhere in that New England region, you probably remember just a couple days ago where New York got flooded out. There was feet of water in multiple areas of New York, and the subways were flooded. Unfortunately, it looks like we might see something similar like that, perhaps in the Boston metro this time, where we see the majority of this rainfall occur from this tropical systems. Another thing I want to talk about is winter, because I love winter, but there is a chance that we're going to continue to see these tropical-esque systems make their way into the Northeast in the winter, and what that means is there's going to be a whole crap ton of snow. I'm sure you're familiar with the term nor'easters. That's what we're looking at, and I have a video coming up soon about the winter outlook, and I actually do think we are going to see a well above average amount of nor'easters this winter. So New England, it looks like you may be the only people who get snow this year. For the rest of the year, for the rest of the U.S., we're in the El Nino pattern, which means it's trash. That's all it takes to talk about it, is it's trash. I see everyone saying hi in chat. It looks like we're all good on the audio now. I don't think we've had another severe weather warning come through yet, so we don't know if our ears are going to be blown out by that, but we'll take a look at that when that happens. 50 viewers, that's pretty good for a first live stream. Thank you guys. I think we're also, yeah, we're already at 33 likes. Thank you so much, guys. Back to severe weather here. Ryan Scholl is getting closer to the storm. You can see his feed up at the top left of the screen. It is a little blurry. That's because he's in Kansas, and Kansas has literally no cell service for the majority of the state. So we'll see the storm here in between a couple of frames as we get those updates. But if there's going to be any storm that has any potential of producing a tornado, it is going to be one of these storms right here, because these are the only storms that have not gone behind the boundary and become elevated.
A new
Obviously,
tornado
once a
warning
storm
has
becomes
been
elevated,
issued.
there is no chance that it may produce a tornado. So we'll stick around here at least until we see these storms go elevated here in the next couple of hours. But I mean, for now, that's really all we have to cover until something more interesting happens. It looks like a lot of this convection down here in the south is still struggling. However, if some of this manages to get its act together, it is possible that these could become tornado producers. However, I just don't see it likely. I think this event has been very, very, very overhyped from the beginning. In fact, I even made a comment a couple days ago on Twitter that if I see anyone hyping this event up, I will personally come slap them. That's because if you have any knowledge of weather whatsoever, you would look at this and be like, this is trash. And that's what it's been. It's been trash. How about you guys, chat? What's the weather where you guys are? What's it looking like? Where are you tuning in from? And are you excited
Hey,
for
Riley,
the
I don't know
cold?
if you caught that, but a
Tornado
just came
warning.
up
Oh,
for Sioux
South
Falls.
Dakota. Yeah, go figure. There's always a jump scare tornado warning out there in South Dakota. So this is near Sioux Falls, just to the southwest of Sioux Falls. This looks like, wow, that is definitely a tornado, and it looks like it is most likely on the ground. We can see a very small CC drop here. I would not be surprised if we see this expand and become deeper over the next few scans. People in areas in Marion, Dalton, Monroe, Parker, you should definitely be in your safe spots. This tornado is most likely going to have a very rapid forward motion. If you're in this tornado warning, your time to take cover is now. It's going to sneak up on you, and it does look to be decently strong, especially as far as the QLCS tornado goes. Yeah, the alert did its job. Is it still loud? Okay, great. The overlay did change colors. I'll turn the warnings down even more. I feel like every time we have an event like this, if I was a storm chaser, I would play the northernmost portion of the 2% in the QLCS crap in South Dakota, because every single time, without a fail, that we've had one of these events, there's been some sort of photogenic tornado out here in South Dakota. North Dakota too. They both randomly produce interesting tornadoes. Hopefully this won't last too long. It is QLCS, so that normally means that it doesn't last too long, but if it does, areas in Hartford, Crooks, and portions of Sioux Falls, you need to be prepared for this to come into your area. Yeah, we'll just watch how this unfolds. God, I can't believe it. I feel like every time that there's an event like this, we see a tornado warning in some random place, and here we go, South Dakota. Caleb, have you been chasing events before down in the plains and then you see some random North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota tornado warning?
So I've definitely seen that. There was I want to say, I don't remember exactly when it was. It was sometime earlier this year. I was down in Arkansas chasing. And then all of a sudden there was like 3 tornadoes that touched down in Wisconsin, like out of the blue, and it like super far north Illinois, and it was like a marginal risk with a 2%. And there was like a 10% hatch down south or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I think it was just a standard 10.
Yeah, I remember now that you mentioned that. There was that one time where there was a Dixie event, and then we had the general thunderstorm QLCS tornado outbreak in southern Wisconsin. I think there ended up being 13 tornadoes confirmed from that. So, yeah, that's just how it goes. Just stick to the north, guys. Don't actually do that. It doesn't normally, or I guess it doesn't actually do this often, but it is kind of funny because it does seem like, okay, that looks like it may, nope, that's clear air. I'm getting baited, guys. CC's doing its job and scaring me into thinking there is a strong debris signature, but there's not. We're going to wait here and wait for these scans to update a little more, see if this tornado is strengthening or weakening. It does look like there may be another circulation trying to form just to its south here. This is something that we should watch in the near future, as maybe there'll be a handoff down to that. But for now, it doesn't seem like that will produce anything. It also does appear that we are finally seeing a broadening of our rotation here. So hopefully this tornado is already off the ground and it will continue to fall apart and won't produce any more tornadoes. Tornadoes are bad unless they are in cornfields. And before anyone's like, well, that damages the farmer's corn, they lose money, you get crop insurance. We love corn tornadoes, but only corn tornadoes, no other kinds of tornadoes. Alright, so I know we have that warning off here to the north, but we're going to come back down to the south and just make sure nothing down here is too concerning. We are in a good old radar hole. We love radar holes. There's so many of them. We should probably fill them, but we don't for some reason. We can see that this was our storm that had the destructive severe thunderstorm warning. That has been allowed to expire. It is now just a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. I say it's just a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, but that does still mean this is a strong thunderstorm. So you should probably avoid that hail because, like I said before, hail is not fun unless you're a storm chaser trying to blow out your windshield. It does look like this storm is overall, oh, I was about to say it was weakening, but in that last scan, it does look like it's sort of gotten its act back together. However, it does look like it's starting to be challenged with some of this convection off from the south. So this most likely won't produce a tornado, and we can see our outflow boundary from the storms behind it right here. So pretty soon this storm is going to, or this outflow boundary is going to cross the storm. It's going to get lifted up and we're not going to see any tornado potential from it. It will just be a small hail and damaging wind system. Alright, back to the north. What is this guy doing? Alright, so it has definitely weakened. That was probably just a brief spin-up tornado, QLCS. We love them. You can never see them. They're always wrapped in rain or traveling at Mach 5. One or the other. There's no in between, or both, actually. It's one or the other, or both. But yeah, it does look like this has lifted. However, the area off to the south here is starting to look a little more concerning. We can see we have this little area of winds here where it looks like there might be a couplet starting to form, and here on reflectivity there is a small hook appendage coming out the front of the storm. So this is something we should watch in the near future for a potential tornado. Anywhere else on this line look concerning? Not really. This should all be elevated garbage, but storms like to do funny things, as we can see by the fact it produced a tornado to begin with. Take a look at our line over here, and this is still appears to be a mostly damaging wind threat and not all that strong at that. Ryan here, we can see his stream. He's looking at clouds. And not the fun kind, not the twisty swirly kind. It looks like he's looking at a dying thunderstorm. I believe I can look here on Zello and see which direction he's facing. Yeah, I believe he is facing north, so that would be our severe warned storm. Let's get an update from Ryan and see what he thinks about this storm from the ground. Hey Ryan, is this storm look at all interesting here on the ground, or does it look trash just like it does on radar?
It is absolutely trash.
Yep, and that's what we were expecting to hear. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but he said it is absolutely trash, and that's what I said. This entire event has been overhyped from the beginning. But we're here anyways, looking at it, because, hey, we like looking at storms. Storms are fun. All this convection down here to the south is still struggling. It looks like there may be a few storms trying to intensify all the way down here to the south. It looks like this one right here has mainly the one that has started to develop a hail core. And hail and increased lightning is the first sign that we may see a tornado. Speaking of lightning, I don't know if my lightning place file is working. Nope, there's just been no lightning observed by radar in the last 5 minutes, which means that these storms are most likely really, really weak. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have going on. A lot of weakening convection. I mean, this is what we were expecting to see on models. It looked like there was a little bit of a over convection fest to start this event, and then everything quickly died off and lost any chance of possible tornadoes. We did just get a new, oh god, it's my turn to botch these town names. Hoisington? Hoisington? Do we think that's a Hoisington, Caleb? I don't know what that is. We're going to go with Hoisington. There has just been a train spotter report out of Hoisington of 0.88 inch, or I think that's penny size, nickel size hail. So apparently this hailstorm is still producing hail, which is interesting because there's not actually any reflectivity over this town. Nonetheless, it does look like apparently there's still rocks falling from the sky. JT, is that the JT from Ryan's chat? Are you the mod, JT? I see we're all bullying him. I do believe that is the JT. Jennifer, I see you are in here also. I'm going to add you as a mod. JT, I will go ahead and give you mod as well. Frank, we're going to go ahead and remove mod from... No, I'm kidding. We love you, Frank. Oh, we had a little screen glitch there. That was weird. OBS was being funny. You could see my background there for a second. My beautiful wind. Oh, whoa, we're doing it again. What in the world? What's it trying to do? How long has the screen been glitching like that, guys? Or did it just happen those 2 times and I just noticed it? Pettis, you should be a mod. I don't know about that, buddy. You like to be a little silly sometimes. A little silly. Alright, let's go take a look at that tornado warning back up here in South Dakota. And yeah, it looks like any threat for a tornado has pretty much dissipated here. In fact, that area of rotation we had off further south also looks a little bit weaker. However, it looks like there may be even more rotation off here in the north. We may have a couple more vortexes trying to form. That's something we should keep an eye on over the next couple of scans. And the one thing I'll note is pretty soon here we're going to get right over the top of that radar, and what that means is we're pretty much not going to have any radar at all because it will be contaminated and disinteresting.
I do have an update for you, Riley, on that tornado warning.
Cool, what you got?
So as per law enforcement, right there at Highway 44 and 81, directly north of Freeman, there is some area in a cornfield, believe it or not, that has been completely flattened and the corn is all knocked over. So there is reason to believe that this was on the ground at one point, but it has since lifted.
Alright, cool. Well, it does seem like we did in fact just see a tornado here in South Dakota. Can't make this up, bro. South Dakota, like, top of the 2% sees a tornado, but somehow we've seen, like, one off in Kansas in the 5%. That's so... Storms do weird things. It looks like there's another severe thunderstorm watch over here in southern Texas with a few storms. I don't believe there's any tornado threat here. It is going to be mostly elevated hailers. So although it might look like we have rotation, there's probably no rotation at all. Also, what doesn't help is our beam height from the radar is 14,000 feet in the air, so it's essentially useless. You would be better off trying to look out your window from Maine at this storm than using radar to try and determine if there's a tornado on the ground. Further off to the north here, it looks like there's another cluster of storms here near Colorado City and Snyder. These are going to be more just classic Texas hailstorms. If you lived in Texas, you probably know that there's a lot of hail in Texas for whatever reason. Texas just loves their random significant hailstorms. Let's go back up to the north, see if we have any more areas of interest here. Down here near Parker, it looks like there might be something trying to form. We can see this area of rotation right here, and taking a peek at reflectivity, there is an inflow notch right here. So this would be the next chance for a spin-up tornado if we do see one. At least we know we have law enforcement in the area to confirm any funnel cloud as a tornado if there may be something occurring. I should probably not with the law enforcement confirmed joke, but hey, we like to have fun here on this channel. Nothing is better than fun. Would you agree, Caleb? Fun is the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. Fun and no pre-rating.
Fun and no pre-rating, yes.
Those are the two most important rules we could possibly follow. Anything beyond that, just got to cross that bridge as we come to it.
Mm-hmm. But hey, what if pre-rating's fun? No, then we still don't pre-rate. We don't pre-rate, guys, please. However, if this did flatten corn, it's probably an EF. I'm kidding. We're not going to go down that road here. It looks like Ryan is starting to go south. I don't know where he's going. Probably to find anything interesting at all. Actually, nope, he's still just sitting there looking at clouds and not fun clouds like we have said before. Ryan's too serious. Guys, Ryan's serious because he likes to be serious. I'm funny because I like to be funny. And it's not really fun when you take weather super seriously. I don't want to sit here and talk about a tornado warning that's clearly got no tornado on the ground. Most of the times, if it says there's no tornado, or if radar says there's no tornado, there is no tornado, although we should probably be taking the warning seriously. Oh, ha. Right here. If you're a weather noob, you're going to see this and be like, oh my god, there's a CC drop, guys. It's not a CC drop. It's clear air. You're getting baited. But it does catch an eye, and it does get you a little interested to see, hey, is that a little something something? No, it's not. Just got your hopes up a little bit. It does look like we still have that area. Oh, my screen's glitching again. That's so weird. I don't know what's happening. It's my PC being silly again, guys. I've had that issue a few days ago where my PC was having weird glitches, but it looks like we're still having those. So hopefully we don't crash here. But hey, if we do, we were at least here for over half an hour. Yeah, we've already been live for half an hour. Dang, it feels like it's been 10 minutes of literally nothing. Come on, inflow, do something silly. Hey, at least we know from law enforcement that this is a cornfield area, so any tornado that happens is in corn, therefore it is an enjoyable tornado as long as it does not impact houses. Just taking a peek at how long this tornado warning is expected to last. It looks like it's expected to last another 15 minutes. I would be surprised if they reissued another tornado warning after that, as the radar is now. However, we already had one spin up today, so that means that there is potential for more. What's going on down here in Kansas? I really want Kansas to do something for Ryan because my man had car issues and missed at least one tornado, even though he did see one. But car issues suck. Yeah, my whole chat's just mods. It's because we're new here. We have to start somewhere, and we start with the mod squad. But yes, the chat is very, very, very blue. But hey, we love the mods. You know what else we love? The curd burger from Culver. Okay, I should probably stop with the Culver. If you watch my video today, you've already heard about the Curd Burger Chronicles. It was very funny. We actually related the weather forecast to the curd burger from Culver's. But hey, I love the curd burger, and if you haven't had a curd burger, you're missing out there, buddy. You're not a mod? Yeah, there's a couple of gray names in there. We love you guys too. We love everyone here equally. Unless, no, I'm kidding. There's no unlesses. At least that we're gonna say out loud. Wow, this event is trash. You watch the video, love to hear it. We love it when people appreciate my works of something. We don't even have a single severe thunderstorm warning in the entirety of Kansas. What an absolutely spectacular event we have here today. An enhanced risk, no severe thunderstorm warnings. Love to see it. Well, it looks like Ryan is... Oh, we have pretty clouds on Ryan's stream. Should we take a look at some pretty clouds, guys? Because there's not much else to look at. I think if I click this button... Oh my god, it worked. Alright, so we did lose Caleb, but we can now see Ryan Scholl's stream in full screen glory, and it looks pretty. And it's pretty, but it's also pretty lame as far as storms go. It does look like there is some sort of cumulus pop-up on the back, but hey, it's definitely not tornadic. Alright, back to the radar screen here. Yeah. We did get here at the tail end of the event, so we missed the majority of the fun because, hey, I wasn't expecting to stream today. But then, no, I saw no one else was live, so I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'll go live. Why don't we have a little bit of fun here? Oh, there's another area here in South Dakota trying to do this silly right up here near Canny Soda. I definitely just said that town name wrong, but we embrace it here. We don't bully. This area does look like it could potentially wrap up into a tornado here in the next couple of minutes. Also here further off to the north near Salem and Montrose. Oh, wow. I couldn't even see one of the letters and I guessed it. I'm getting so good at this town name thing. But yeah. Someday I will pronounce every single town name right. That's never going to happen. I'm from Minnesota. We always say stuff wrong. Caleb's from the Midwest as well. He probably also agrees that we say stuff wrong, but in my mind, it's correct. And that's the most... Oh, wow. Okay. So no more joking around here. It does look like there is a tornado imminent, if not already occurring here near Monroe. So now I do expect to see this tornado warning get extended out further. They should probably issue a new polygon for this rotation here, as there is most definitely tight rotation right here. There is no CC drop yet, but I would not be surprised to see one in the next couple of scans. Off here to the north, it does look like this area of rotation is also getting a little tighter, so we're probably going to see more South Dakota funniness here in the next couple of minutes. Areas in Humboldt, we messed that one up. We're going to embrace it again. Hartford, Crooks, and the northwest region of Sioux Falls near the, I can't see what interstates these are here on GR2, but whatever those roads are, if you're in this area, you know what I'm talking about. This would be a good time to just go ahead and get to our safe spots.
A new PDS severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
It's hot out here, so we might as well go to our nice cool basements anyways and be prepared for these storms if they do produce a tornado. It is kind of crazy that the most interesting part of this severe weather outbreak-ish thing is up here in South Dakota, as it always is. I feel like KFSD or the Sioux Falls radar tower is always under assault from QLCS spin-up tornadoes. Like, you see this so much. There's always a tornado warning, like, right here coming right into Sioux Falls. Like, someone in Sioux Falls, you got some, like, bad omens or something because you're messing it up for the rest of us. Alright, so it looks like there is a new destructive severe thunderstorm warning here in Nebraska. We need to treat this as a tornado warning. This will be producing winds of 80 miles an hour or more. That is stronger than a weak tornado. So areas in Columbus, Richland, Bellwood, Shire, Clarkson, Howells, Dodge, Snyder, you guys need to be in your basements, in your safe spots. Stay away from windows and anything on the outside. It's going to be very, very, very windy here in a couple of minutes. And in fact, I'd go ahead and say areas in Ulysses, Dwight, Brainerd, David City, Octavia, and North Bend. It looks like this region here is also going to produce these strong straight line winds. And strong straight line winds are just as concerning as tornadoes, if not more concerning. How windy is windy? What are we saying here? 58 knots is the max. I don't know what that is in miles per hour, but it's a lot. Also, we just had a silly little triangle pop up here. And what a triangle is a tornado vortex signature or a TVS, which means there might be a tornado. I do believe this is going, actually. Caleb, I don't know if you're looking at this, but do you want to take a peek? It looks like there might be a little inflow notch here that could possibly form some sort of spin up tornado here. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't even know where you're looking, to be totally honest with you. I found it.
Yep.
I found it. Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, there is definitely a little bit of rotation there. It's definitely not anything as even what we've seen north in Sioux Falls recently. But it's definitely starting to pick up a little bit, and there is a very clear inflow notch there. So just north of Duncan, I think we definitely, like you said, could see a spin-up tornado in the next few seconds, or not few seconds, few minutes.
A few seconds might be a little aggressive here, but yeah, next few minutes there could definitely be a tornado here. So you're already under destructive severe thunderstorm warning, which means those tornado sirens are already going off. So at this point, we have winds as strong as a tornado and possibly a potential tornado here in the next couple of minutes. So we need to be taking that very seriously and making sure we are in those basements. Let's come back up here to the north. Wow, this area is starting to look a little more broad. However, there is still definitely a couplet here with a clear inflow region. And hey, that's all it takes to pique my interest in forms of tornado potential. So we should probably be prepared for this to possibly produce something in the next few minutes, although it is not right now. Coming back here to Kansas, let's see if Kansas is doing anything interesting. Nope, it's not. Kansas is continuing to be very, very upsetting and depressing. Watching you while doing my homework. Hey, we got to get homework done. And the best way to do homework is to multitask and convince yourself that you're not actually doing homework. Or just do your homework, but that's no fun for anyone. So it does look like this storm off here to the south near Buckland and Mulville is Mullinville. I'm going to get these town names one time. Is continuing to strengthen. It does not show any potential of a tornado right now. However, it is starting to take a little bit more of a bean shape. And if you watch any of Ryan's streams or any other weather streams, you probably know that bean shapes do have the potential to produce tornadoes. Let's take a peek back up here in the north, see if anything here is looking more interesting. Wow, it's looking contaminated. That's what it is. It's getting pretty hard to see anything around here as we are getting closer to the radar site. But this is still nonetheless a very strong damaging wind threat. So I've said it a million times, and I'm going to say it 1,000,001 time. Be in your basement. It can't hurt. Alright, so it does look like this area of rotation here in South Dakota is definitely weakening. So we are probably not going to see any tornado potential from that, at least in the near future. However, I would not be surprised if this attempts to spin up again. But for now, we're good. We're almost through our severe thunderstorm watch here. So I would not, or I guess I would be surprised if they go ahead and issue a new severe thunderstorm watch for any of these areas, as these storms are going to rapidly deteriorate here, and they're already a little weaker than what we were expecting from the start. Most of this is just SPS, and SPS stands for stupid, I don't know what it stands for, something stupid weather, but weather starts with a P statement. SWS will call it a stupid weather statement because they get you excited that something fun might happen, but then nothing fun does happen.
Okay, I have an update for you, Riley.
Go ahead.
So, up back in South Dakota, we're now getting reports of a vehicle that has somehow been disabled and pushed off the road by the storm that went through there. Law enforcement have been trying to locate it for about 25 minutes now. I've been kind of waiting to update you on what the situation is there once we kind of found a solution, but they're still looking for this car. They're using like GPS pinging of the cell phone, and they can't find the location of the vehicle. So whether the vehicle's been tossed or whatever. Obviously, the caller in the vehicle was the one that called, but they did say they were off the road because of the storm, and law enforcement is unable to locate the vehicle.
All right, well, that's pretty interesting, actually. Hopefully, what happened here is they were able to drive out of it after calling, but how the heck do you lose a vehicle in a ditch? It's literally a sitting duck, but I guess we've lost it, so hopefully we hear some sort of update there in the near future. But hey, if you're in South Dakota, in that area, right here around or just to the southwest of Sioux Falls, and you see a vehicle in the ditch and you are able to, you might as well help, because it sounds like someone there does need help. Overall, this line is just continuing to be sad and depressing as far as severe weather potential goes. I guess while we're waiting for more to happen, let's take a look at the HRRR and see what it has for the future of these storms. Bam! Wow, look, we got the HRRR. We are going to zoom in on the central US here. Hey, look, it's still hot, but not for long. The cold front is, in fact, moving through. All right, that's not what we came to look at. We came to look at our good old friend composite reflectivity here. And it does look like we are actually, the HRRR looks like it's on something here, and it shows that these storms are going to strengthen slightly off in Kansas and southern Nebraska. So we should probably be looking out for that. However, we don't tend to look at models day of because they like to do silly things, but there's not much else going on, so we might as well take a look, right? But yeah, it does look like quickly after those strengthen, sometime here by 10 p.m., we do see these storms start to dissipate near the Iowa-Missouri border and no longer pose any severe threat at all. There is going to be a lot of rain here when we see this calm ahead system take place. This is going to be dumping out all the moisture it's gathered over the last couple of hours. Well, not really days. I was going to say days, but hours, because it doesn't take a lot of time for these storms to pull water up into the sky, but hey, that water's got to go somewhere, and it is going to fall out of the sky in the form of rain. So we should be looking out for some flooded roads or maybe some light flash flooding here in this area. I do believe there is a marginal risk of flash flooding from the Weather Prediction Center today. But for now, it doesn't seem that bad. I mean, these storms are moving fast enough to where they should not pose much of a flooding threat. But if we do start to see storms train over the same area for any amount of time, there is a possibility that we could see flooding. It looks like we are starting to see a majority of our convection up here in the north form into a line as that front catches up. So as far as tornado potential goes, I'm going to draw a line right schmear. And anywhere, that's not a line, that's a triangle, but same difference. If you're in that triangle, what kind of line is that? We're tired here, we're in college. Anyways, if you're in that triangle, it's mostly going to be a gusty winds and small hail threat. However, we cannot rule out a potential spin-out tornado, at least for the next hour or two, until these storms are actually elevated. We're going to come back here and see if Ryan Scholl is getting any action. Nope. He's still not. I keep looking because I want poor Ryan to get something interesting, but it's just not happening for him. The weather is just not weathering. Alright, well, it does look like off here to the north in South Dakota, most of our areas of rotation have almost completely weakened. There is still a weak mesocyclone, right here in this area, but however, it is very, very broad, so there is almost certainly no tornado potential with that, at least right now. Come back here and take a look at our destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and hey, it still looks really, really windy here. Right here where we are seeing this system sort of bow out and shoot itself off to the northeast. This is where we're going to see the most potential for extreme damaging winds in excess of 80 miles per hour, and this will continue for at least the next hour or so as we see the system move off further. And I would not be surprised as we see more forward motion start if this area here also gets a destructive severe warning somewhere in this region, because it's going to start to pick up forward speed, and more forward speed means more wind. It's really, really hard to talk about wind over and over again, but hey, we're gonna make do. Let's come back down here to the south to Ryan Scholl again, and let's go ahead and ask him what he thinks of any tornado potential in Kansas for the rest of the day. Hey Ryan, well, it looks like your storm did trash itself. Do you think any of these storms off here to the south in Kansas that are just sort of firing and are slightly more discreet and in front of that cold front may pose any tornado threat over the next few hours, or are you pretty much calling it a day here as far as tornadoes?
I'm not calling it a day yet. For tornadoes, yes, but these storms can produce some pretty good lightning, and as you can see right now, they produce some pretty decent structure here as of a little bit. But you know, sunlight's running out and we don't have much time left to actually see something good.
Yep, so it looks like he's pretty much agreeing with everything we said, which is these storms are just starting to weaken a little bit. But hey, there's still a chance. If there's a will, there's a way. And there's not a lot of will, so there's probably not going to be a way. But we're still here for it, because storms are still storming. Come on, North South Dakota. What are we doing in South Dakota? Nothing. Alright guys, well, we are waiting for a little bit more of tornado potential here at all. Are there any questions you may have about weather in general or anything else? Possible TDS near Ulysses, Nebraska. Ulysses, where you at? I cannot find... Ulysses was down here, I believe. Oh, right there. Possible TDS. I assume you are looking at this area of rotation right here. It doesn't look too concerning yet, but we'll wait to see if maybe my radar is just slightly behind and maybe a few scans back. All right, we'll go take a look a few scans back here. Right there. I don't really... Oh, right there. I don't know. Maybe that was something. But if it was something, it was really weak. But there is the potential that we could have seen a brief spin up there near Ulysses. But I wouldn't be shocked, to say the least, if that was anything stronger than a leaf NATO. But it just reminds us that we need to be watching this strong line of winds for any potential tornadoes that may quickly spin up, because these QLCS systems tend to do that. I think a majority of tornadoes in the US actually occur from these QLCS systems, which is one of the reasons it's important to take the destructive severe thunderstorm warnings we normally see with these QLCS systems so seriously, is because not only is there that potential for strong straight line damaging winds, there's a strong potential that we may see brief spin up tornadoes as well. What do you think about the rest of the day as far as tornado potential, Caleb? Do you think there's any chance, or is all hope pretty much lost?
I think there's still a potential to see a couple spin-up tornadoes, but I don't like. There's really nothing isolated that we'd see. I mean, there's that one cell down south. Let me pull up my radar. I just saw it on your stream, and that's the only reason I saw it. There's a couple of cells that are down in Kansas and then southern Nebraska that maybe, potentially, are a little bit... Actually, it's not even in Nebraska. Definitely Kansas. That are a little bit in front of the line that have the potential to maybe try and do something. But I would definitely say that anything north of probably Ellsworth is most likely only going to be a spin-up tornado at this point. I think the potential of like a extremely large, devastating tornado would be completely out of the picture at this point, if that were even a chance at all today.
Yeah.
But like anything of any significance is pretty much done. We might see a couple like things that'll knock down some branches, maybe a few power lines, but I don't think there's like a Perryton, Texas tornado that's going to come out of anything here.
Yeah, I would strongly agree with that. It does seem like we're going to be switching to mostly QLCS tornadoes here, which does unfortunately mean it will be almost impossible to see any of these tornadoes if they do happen. So that's no fun. Tornadoes are only fun when A, you see them, and B, they're in a cornfield. How many times can I say the exact same thing before y'all get bored? You guys just really need to know that corn tornadoes are fun tornadoes. Because they're just corn tornadoes. Alright, so it does look like all of our tornado threat here in South Dakota is gone at this point. There's not even a severe thunderstorm warning, and actually I'm not sure there ever was for any of these storms. But it looks like we're pretty much done there as far as severe weather goes. And it does look like, hopefully, our damaging wind threat here is starting to subside a little bit, which is slightly surprising, but it does look like this convection is just starting to weaken as we get later in the day here, which was expected. But it wasn't expected to happen this fast, but then again, models did get convection time wrong by just a couple of hours today. How is the severe weather threat tomorrow by the SPC? We can take a look at that right here. Well, here is our current severe weather threat for today, but we're not talking about today. We are talking about tomorrow. This is mainly in Texas and parts of southwestern Oklahoma. It is a slight risk, and I believe that it is mainly driven by the potential for severe hail, and it is. The majority of this is a slight risk because of that severe hail. However, there is also a 10-hatched risk of damaging winds, including Childress and Wichita Falls. But that's most likely not going to be anything too concerning. There's also a large 2% risk of tornadoes right here, including towns such as Fort Stockton, Midland, Lubbock, Childress, Wichita Falls, and almost all the way into Abilene, Texas. And if you know anything about a 2% of this size, it means that tomorrow we can expect to see one random photogenic tornado in the middle of nowhere, and there may be one individual on that. But it's going to be one random photogenic tornado, and that's it. So it looks like the SPC just issued a new mesoscale discussion. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull that up quickly. Have to find it on the Twitter or the X, but I'm not going to call it X because I am stubborn. So we are going to continue to call it Twitter. Come on, open up. Do it. There we go. Here we go. Here is our new mesoscale discussion from the SPC saying additional storm development likely tonight. The severe risk continues. They are
a new tornado warning has been issued.
Although there is some portions of extreme northern Oklahoma in there. But I'm assuming what they're mainly talking about is right down here to the south, where we are yet to see those we're yet to see a lot of convection occur there, and eventually we are expecting to see this turn into a giant line as it makes its way off to the east here. Computer being stupid again? What's it doing now? Who knows what it's doing? It's got a mind of its own. It's a computer. Is it just doing that weird screen glitchy thing? Oh, another tornado warning, Nebraska. I bet that's right where we were talking about. And hey, it is. Right here near, or it's actually I think a little, well, that is what we were talking about, yeah. So yeah, there's a tornado warning there. I'm gonna be completely honest. This doesn't seem that interesting. There is definitely some sort of couplet right here, but there's just not much else in terms of interesting things here. We have no little hook on radar that signals that there's a inflow notch that could be forming a tornado. It's really just that area on velocity. But maybe we're just a couple of scans behind here. The NWS does have quicker radar service, as they are literally hardwired to the radar. But we'll wait here a couple more scans in case there is something more significant. Areas in Brainerd, you should probably be taking shelter right now, as there is the potential for a tornado. So take that seriously. Go to your basement. Yeah, not much of a hook, I know. But the NWS doesn't normally warn something unless they think it's interesting. Now, that's an entire discussion we can get into, but we're not going to do that here today. We'll wait at least a couple of more streams, but there has been some interesting tornado warning decisions by the NWS over the last couple of months, especially. But yeah, this doesn't look too interesting. I wonder if they were looking at this more around right here when it looked like this was strengthening. So they started using their archaic Windows XP software to issue that tornado warning. And in the 7 minutes it took them to issue that tornado warning, it's no longer concerning. But it's a job security for them. You're right. Well, you say that, but this is actually an interesting tidbit of information. When the National Weather Service was founded, there was a rule set in place that if the National Weather Service went above a certain false positive rate, meaning they issued a tornado warning and no tornado occurred, they would abolish the NWS and it would no longer be a thing. And they are actually 2 to 3 times above that false positive warning. I'm not saying we should abolish the NWS. But I am saying that we should probably figure out why in the world there's been so many false positive tornado warnings. And it's not only false positive tornado warnings, we also have a lot of false negative tornado warnings. And one time that I experienced this, I was off in Illinois chasing, and we had a multi-vortex wedge tornado on the ground. And we called it into the NWS. A bunch of other storm chasers called it into the NWS, all of those names you've heard. And they didn't warn it for 18 minutes. And in that time that it took for them to warn it, it hit 2 houses, flattened a bunch of corn, flattened some trees, and I believe there was 2 injuries, and those people had no warning. And by the time they finally decided to issue that tornado warning, the tornado was gone. But that's just how it goes sometimes, and that's why it's always important to have multiple ways to get severe weather information outside of the NWS, because they're really, really busy people. And I might be able to sit here and see something that they don't see, just because they're not only issuing warnings. There's so many other products that they need to be taking a look at, getting those out. They have to do outlooks, they have to do METAR stuff, they have to do a bunch of other stuff. Sometimes they just don't have the ability to look at the radar and just sit here and look at it like we do. Windows XP, it takes me back, yeah. They do, in fact, still use Windows XP. In fact, I had a friend who visited the NWS, and their official radar computer was a Windows XP laptop, like one of those really thick ones that was like this thick, and it had the square screen on it. And that is still what they use to hardwire into the radar towers and get those live radar data. Now, they do also have GR2 just like we do, and they look at that on their other computers. But as far as hardwired data goes, they're still on those weird Windows XP laptops. Caleb, while I was rambling about tornado warnings, did we miss anything interesting?
No, there's like absolutely nothing going on. There's some hail falling in Kansas right now, and probably some rain. But I was honestly just spending my time looking at the upcoming weather.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that big bowling ball trough that's going to roll into the eastern U.S. and bring some pretty chilling air from this kind of warm period we've been in, probably this weekend. So that's what I've been staring at for the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't blame you for looking at future weather instead of what's going on in front of our eyes, because as far as this goes, we pretty much know it's over, but we can always look at the future weather and try to convince ourselves that something might happen there. Taking a look here at the tornado warning again, it does look like they just updated it and extended it slightly off to the north. Or nope, they just shrunk it a little bit. Honestly, I'm surprised that they updated and kept this warning, because it looks to me like there is literally no potential for a tornado here. It looks it looks the same as the rest of the line. There's just nothing too concerning here. So I would not be surprised if we see that get canceled in the next coming minutes. TVS here up near Stanton, that doesn't look concerning. Looks like nothing. We're going to go take another look over here in South Dakota. Maybe something has changed here. Nope. Alright, yeah, we're definitely getting into the dying period as far as severe weather goes here. Mostly this QLCS trash. Maybe something? No. I keep trying to find something to show you guys. I'm like, hey, this might do something, but we're just not finding it. There's nothing looking like that. Come back here to the south, take a look at what Ryan is seeing. We can see his feed in the upper left-hand corner. It looks like he has a little bit of a shelf cloud there, and that is most likely from this line of storms we're seeing here, going sort of northeast to southwest from Russell through La Crosse and down into Jetmore. This is most likely where our front is at, and most of this convection is occurring because that storm is being forced, or the air is being forced up into the air. There's an uptick of lightning on Ryan's streams. Yeah, I've been kind of noticing that as well, but I'm not sure if that's because the storm is strengthening or if that's just because the storms are getting closer. But let's go take a peek at Ryan's feed and check in with him. Hey Ryan, it looks like you're having a little bit of an uptick in lightning. I don't believe that has anything to do with the storm strengthening, but what are you seeing there? Because it looks beautiful. We'll give him...
I'm just kind of relaxing, looking to my northwest. We have this, little strengthening storm, but lightning is not stopping. We have a nice little shelf that has started to form in front of this whole entire line.
Yep, and that's what we were just seeing here, so it looks like Ryan and I are on the same page. I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and increase his stream quality. Yeah, it's stuck in 144p. We don't like that. I'm gonna go ahead and try and refresh his feed. Wow, there we go, and it's 720p glory. This is actually a really, really beautiful storm. So we're just gonna stick around here for a little bit and watch it. Question from A-Hole Mess. Do you think this secondary tornado season will be particularly aggressive? So, there is definitely going to be a second season this year. However, I think it's going to be different from any other second season we've seen in recent times. And this is mostly because what it's looking like right now, and taking the entirety range, or the entire range of the GFS, is there's less of those little mini troughs that we see come in and more of a giant ridge setting up, leads to a bunch of hot air and moisture gets pulled in, and then a massive bowling ball comes through. So in terms of frequency, I do believe there's going to be less frequency of severe weather in general, but bowling balls are definitely strong systems, and when they come through, there is more than enough reason to believe that we may see a significant severe weather outbreak. Actually, I am surprised that this severe weather outbreak was not more strong, as we had all sorts of ingredients there to produce strong thunderstorms and strong tornadoes. However, they just didn't really all come together at the perfect time. There were a couple of factors missing, and at least in my opinion, the time that was going to be most favorable for strong tornadoes, we just didn't really see, or that's mostly occurring like overnight. That would be overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. That was the time that this system was going to be the most interesting in terms of tornado potential, but that's happening overnight, and these storms thrive on daytime heat, and obviously there's no daytime heat overnight. Yeah, that's really, really beautiful. At least we get to see a flashing storm here. Caleb, I know that we cannot see you, but I'm gonna have to run to the bathroom here quick. If you see anything interesting, go ahead and talk about it. I'm just going to leave Ryan's stream up here on the main view.
Sounds like a plan. I will just talk about whatever's happening right now while you do that. So, I know you guys can't see it because I cannot control his radar, but we do still have that active tornado warning in Nebraska right now. It's going to be active for about another 22 minutes, but I honestly believe that the storm's going to overtake the polygon before that 22 minutes is up. Just going to peek at our velocity here. It doesn't look like anything's really changed at any point. It's pretty much looking like just straight line winds at this point. There's no real inflow notch or anything like that on it. But we're watching down the line just to see if anything else pops up, and then I will jump on that if it changes. But if you guys have any questions, well, that was my camera. It just fell. I don't know if you guys heard that. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them while Riley's gone. But as of right now, nothing is going on at all. I'm just admiring this amazing footage from Ryan Scholl. Yeah, Andy, what's your question? We will definitely take questions from Andy Hill. I think Andy is always lurking. We still have several considerable thunderstorms out, so if you guys are in one of those, how much did you leave behind to yeet yourself to Pikeville? Really not that much. So I have a place in Iowa, but I was just like, forget that. We're moving to Pikeville. Yeah, and really not that much. Being a storm chaser and all, you're pretty much on the road at least half the year. So when the opportunity came up to come to Pikeville, I was like, yes, that is what I want, because like I love the weather. I know it meant that I got to chase a little bit less, but it also meant that I got to do what I love with like the All Squad and everything like that. So pretty dope.
Yes. Oh, I see we have Andy Hill in chat. We love meteorologist Andy Hill. He is one of, if not the smartest people I have ever met meteorological wise. And just in general, he's a really, really smart individual, and he never fails to tell me when I'm wrong. And that is actually a really, really important thing, because if people never tell you that you're wrong, you cannot, I can only chat here because you didn't enable sub only mode. Yeah, I didn't feel like enabling sub only mode for my first stream because YouTube likes engagement, and I just figured, you know what, we'll just let everyone chat today, but we should probably go ahead and turn that on now that you've mentioned it, if I can turn that on now, and I can. So thank you, Andy.
If you turn it on, Andy can't talk anymore.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Yeah.
I think Andy's he can talk if I mod him.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
All right, we're going to try it. We're going to see if Andy can talk. Andy, if you can't talk, shoot me a nastygram DM telling me you can't talk. This is an interesting little experience we have going on here. Dang it, he can't talk. All right. We love Andy, so we're going to go ahead and turn that off because we want Andy to be able to talk. All right, welcome back, Andy. It got quiet. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Bro made me think I was muted. I almost pulled a Ryan Hall. If he's a mod, he could not chat. That's funny. I don't know why we are unable to have him YouTube live streaming is a little jank. Yeah, we've said this before on Ryan's stream, and I'm gonna say it here again. Twitch is years ahead of YouTube as far as live streaming goes, but hey, YouTube is catching up. And they are getting more features in the background. It's not possible for you to sub. Like, you can't sub to anyone, Andy. Is that because you are only a Or that's because of the way we have it set up, right? Because I can sub to people, but I remember there's something weird about how we have everything set up. I don't know. Yeah, it should work. Hey guys, YouTube's goofy, but we love it anyways. And if it wasn't for YouTube, we wouldn't be here right now. Wow, that storm is really beautiful. That's so weird, Andy. I don't know what to say about that. It's just YouTube doing the funny. YouTube does the funny again. Yeah, you know what I learned today, guys? Don't title a video "The Weather Does the Funny" because nobody will click on it. We learned that today. But yeah, do you stream on Twitch now too? No, I do not multi-stream, and the reason I do not multi-stream is because if you multi-stream to 2 platforms at a time, no matter how you do it, somehow Twitch and or YouTube will know that you're doing it, and they will not let anyone see your video. Well, they can see it, but they have to like literally go to your channel page and click on the video and already be subscribed and have a notification. So it was the extra "the" in the title. Come on, Frank. We had this discussion. We wanted to be grammatically correct. Tornado warning in Nebraska. Yeah, we'll go take a look. Oh, it has expired. Go figure. The tornado that they warned that wasn't there. The warning expired. There is, however, still that destructive... Oh, nope. We are out of the region of the destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and there's now a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Still be taking that seriously because it's gonna be windy. If you've seen the video on TikTok where it's the cat and it's like, it's effing windy, yeah, that's what it's going to be out there. I wish I had that video to show because that is a really, really funny video. Oh yeah, no, Andy, we did talk about that tornado near Ulysses, but it looked pretty brief and it wasn't that interesting. But nonetheless, it probably flattened some corn. No spreading misinformation. Hey, I was about to say something controversial, but we're just going to keep that thought in my head. We stopped ourselves, guys. We stopped ourselves. Who let me on the live stream? They should have known that I was not serious enough for that. Oh well. We're here, and we're having fun. And fun is the most important thing. You're the best storm chaser. Nick, you really only like to try to tap other people's bumpers. And personally, I've almost been a victim of a Nick Gorman special Nick Gorman special bumper tap when chasing with him. You're just jealous I'm the better chaser. I don't know if you can call someone a chaser when the only tornadoes they almost see are the ones they almost drive into. Anyways, Caleb's dying up there. I almost kept a straight face through that until I saw Caleb start dying out of the corner of my eye. Oh, we love having fun, guys. Fun is the most important thing. Speaking of fun, you know it's not fun? These storms. These storms are incredibly disappointing. Oh, my radar. Oh, for a second there we had my radar in the red, which means it wasn't downloading, but we're downloading now. No, it's getting dark. I don't want it to get dark. I want to keep seeing Ryan's beautiful storm. So hopefully we can still see it with the lightning here. This is fun. Yeah, I do believe it's fun. Hey, Ryan, why don't you come tell us why it's fun? Because you can talk to us and you might as well join the discussion about why this event is not fun. I mean fun. I mean not fun. I mean fun. Yeah, it's fun. We'll see if Ryan has anything to add here when YouTube finally catches up. I am about 15 seconds ahead here and what I'm saying to what you guys hear. Oh, 73. That's a big wind gust. Now we're getting a battle between Ryan and Nick in the chat. Well, that's fine because Ryan will clearly win because he sees tornadoes and Nick does not. In fact, Ryan, I should say, saw a tornado today and Nick worked today. So I wonder who's the better chaser. Do you think the tropics are mostly done or do you think there is one or more big storms that will form? Personally, I am not that concerned about any tropical system that we may come from, or that may come from a West African wave at this point, although there is definitely still the potential for one. But I am more concerned about the potential that we may see a tropical system come out of the Gulf, because the Gulf of Mexico is still hot. It's so hot. Actually, I believe I can pull this up. It is literally off the charts in terms of temperature. Where is my ocean forecast system, the OFS, as we like to call it? This is a real model, even though it sounds like it's a as seen on TV product. This should be the Gulf of Mexico. That is not the Gulf of Mexico. That's also not the Gulf of Mexico. We can find it. I know we can. Gulf, where are you? Well, that's the Atlantic. Pacific. Where's the Gulf? I guess the Gulf isn't technically an ocean, so we might not be able to see it unless we fight with it. We can see it here. We can see it good enough. Actually, I need to stop being dumb and switch the window. Okay, so we're gonna zoom in there so we can see it. Wow, we're really zoomed in. So that is the ocean currents. We don't want the ocean currents. We want the ocean temperature. And look, this model only goes up to 32 degrees of Canadian units. And a lot of the portions of the Gulf are at or above those 32 degrees in Canadian units. And what this means is the Gulf is toasty. And what a toasty Gulf means is there is potential for thunderstorm or tropical development. Kayla, what do you have for us?
Oh, I was just going to comment on your Canadian units and inform everyone that that's 89 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes, we have Caleb here with us, and he is a real Canadian in the flesh. So I'm glad that we have someone that can perform the calculations quickly that I cannot. We had 12 tornado warnings today. I do believe we did have around that number. You were here for the weather, now the drama. Yeah, hey. When there's not a lot of weather to talk about, we like to make our own things to talk about, like the fact that we have 69 concurrent viewers right now. How amazing. I cannot think of a better number for concurrent viewers than 69. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Almost warm enough to cook some ramen. I wonder what temperature... Oh, we're going to switch to the Caleb cam, right? Okay. Caleb is attempting to see tornadoes through his VR headset because there is no tornadoes.
Yeah, this is a much better experience. I'm actually watching a video that was posted on Twitter, and if you're on Weather Twitter at all, it was posted like yesterday. It was a crazy video. Person gets hit by a tornado. I'm actually rewatching that in VR right now.
Hey, I've heard rumors that one time Mr. Ryan Hall went live in 360. I wonder if you can go properly experience that live. How did you get into weather? Literally, honestly, I don't really know. I just remember waking up I just remember being born, and the first thing I did after I was born is I went outside and I was like, weather, we love this. So, I don't know. As long as I can remember, I've always been interested in the weather, and in fact, I remember back to when I was in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, when we still had cable TV. The Weather Channel, when it was good, was channel 67. I still remember that. That is literally ingrained in my brain forever, is the Weather Channel was on 67. Damage being reported where the TDS was. Yep, I'm not surprised. There's hopefully, if you could provide a little more information on that in Discord, you can do that in the water cooler, but I hope that that's just a little bit of corn damage and no structure damage, because structure damage is bad and corn damage we're okay with. Wow, I have never seen such a straight line on radar. Obviously it is just a little bit of radar being funny, a little bit of contamination, but that's really interesting looking. We're going to switch my Discord channel here so I can see Alright, yeah, we're pretty soon here. We're going to have an update on that scanner damage. You've seen about 5 tornadoes. Strongest was an EF3. Yeah, I've seen about, I think I've seen 4 tornadoes. 2 of which were QLCS spin-ups. 1 of which was a wedge. And another one which was just some weak vortices under a large bowl funnel. The weather channel was channel 7. Stephanie, I'm not sure. I bet, actually, this is funny because I bet the Weather Channel in Pikeville, Kentucky is still 7 because they are living in the 1940s in terms of technology. So I doubt that anything there has changed. The roof, so the report of damage near Ulysses where we saw those, or that TDS earlier on radar, there is a roof that has been torn off a shed, and there are power lines that are reported to have been down. So we should be looking out for any damage in the roads if we are driving in this area. However, there is no tornado threat there anymore. Fremont, Nebraska had sirens sounding for at least 5 minutes. Where is Fremont? If I had to take a gander, and if that was recently, I would guess Fremont is somewhere in this circle here where we had that destructive severe thunderstorm warning. It could also, actually, here, I guarantee you, Fremont, Nebraska is somewhere in this circle here. I'm an absolute genius. See that? Literally no way I missed it. But yeah, there is now sirens for severe thunderstorm warnings if they are above that 80 mile per hour or baseball-sized hail threshold, because they are just as concerning, if not more concerning, than tornadoes. Speaking of tornadoes, we have none. And we have nothing that even looks tornadic. It's still channel 7? Yeah, see? Not surprised. Literally guessed that. There's a radar tagged mezzo, but I'm going to assume, yeah, that's just radar contamination. Ryan Scholl. What's our man Ryan Scholl seeing? A lot of lightning. Zoom in near West Point and you'll see. Where's West Point? Oh. Was I right? West Point? I literally, what was the town name? Fremont. Now I just need to find this town. We have to do it, guys. Playing Find the Town. I'm failing to find the town of Fremont. Dang. Oh, wow. That was a quick zoom in. So we did not find Fremont, but it looks like it was in that first little polygon I drew there. Actually, I don't know if we could consider that a polygon because it had a curved line, so it's not technically a polygon. The tornadoes are waiting for you to end the stream. Well, I guess we're just never going to be able to stop streaming then, because if there's a tornado and I don't see it, that's no fun. So I'm just going to have to keep streaming until next time I go storm chasing. And then I'll see a tornado. And if I don't see a tornado, Buck, that's your fault. Please keep the towels. Guys, I literally love the towels. I think it's the funniest thing ever, but I think it's probably comes across as a little unprofessional in videos. And obviously, if the video looks unprofessional, people are going to be inclined to not trust that. And when you're talking about the weather, you want to appear trustworthy. So unfortunately, we are probably going to have to get rid of the towels in the near future. And in fact, near future meaning the next video, other than the winter outlook, will not have the towels in it, which is sad. But yeah. Your cat loves watching severe weather coverage. Well, your cat is more informed than a majority of people in the United States about severe weather. So you can brag about that. Oh, my ear's randomly ringing. That's a little unnerving. Hunter. We now have Hunter up here on radar. It looks like he's down here to the south. Hey, whoa. We might have a storm trying to be funny down here near Buckland and Kingsdown. So maybe if that storm tries to do something. Oh, It does look like there's actually some tornado potential with these storms down here. It's the most interesting thing I've seen in a minute as far as tornado potential. So maybe soon. We might not be done yet. But for now, there's none. The actual best chaser. Oh, yeah, I'm right here. Were you talking to me, the best chaser?
I think he was talking about me.
Yeah. I do agree that you're probably a better chaser than me, just because you chase more.
Just because I drove underneath what could have possibly been a tornado one time.
Mm-hmm. And then bro tried to intercept a tornado one time and got debris in his eye.
Those were great times. I do have a quick update, completely unrelated to these storms up here, but down in Texas, Lubbock, Texas, actually, they are seeing most of their creeks and streams completely overflowing. On Twitter, I retweeted it. There is a video of a Texas State Trooper Dodge Charger floating away.
Is that something that we can show on stream? Is that from the...
That is from a chaser, so we cannot share
Do we know
it.
the chaser?
I have never heard of said chaser.
Dang. Well, I'm going to go ahead and find that tweet here quickly, and I will retweet it so you guys can see that through my Twitter. Oh, I cannot see that you have retweeted that, Caleb. My Twitter's being funny. Ah, I found it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and retweet that. Also, I will send my Twitter link in the chat so you guys can find that while you're there. Shameless plug, you might as well follow me, because I provide more information there than I do here, because it's really easy to make a tweet and it's really hard to make a YouTube video. But yeah, it does look like there is some considerable flooding going on here, where we have these slow moving storms producing a lot of rain and hail. We can see the trailing or you can see we have this severe thunderstorm warning here, and then behind it, where the storm's already traveled, we have these flash flood warnings. Hunter, if you want to go ahead and throw up a feed, are you going to be on YouTube? Because I can pull it from your YouTube, and then I will attempt to find somewhere to put you. I might have to switch off between you and Ryan, but we will surely have you here.
I can just throw them up on my camera, and then I can just bring myself back if I need to talk.
Yeah. One sec. I have to send Hunter a quick message before we do that. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to shoot Hunter a quick message before using his feed, just so he knows a couple of things. But we're done with that now. Caleb, you said you're going to pull that up on your camera. I'm not sure how well that will fit, but I'm gonna try. And... Yeah.
Is he coming off of the RTMP, or is he going to go from YouTube?
He is going to go from YouTube.
Okay, I'll wait for his stream to come online then, because it's not currently live.
All right, well, we are waiting for that here. In the meantime, we still have Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl. We love Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl. These guys have been gracious enough to let us use their feeds today. So please, guys, if you guys are not already following them on all of their social medias and YouTubes, go ahead and do that. If you search Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl, he'll come up on YouTube. Go subscribe to him, and as well as you search Hunter Hurley on YouTube, his YouTube will come up. Please go subscribe to those guys. It was super nice of them to let us use their feeds today. So we should do what we can to support them because of that. It's only fair. Semi-discrete cells trying to form in the panhandle. Yep, I see that. We'll see what they try and do. There's definitely some potential that one of these could go upscale and do something interesting, but for now, it looks like it's continuing to be a little bit more of this weak convection. Frank just sent the link to Ryan's YouTube channel. Guys, please subscribe to him. We love Ryan. He's one of my good friends. He sees a lot of tornadoes, so mine as well. And then there is Hunter's YouTube channel. Subscribe to that as well. We love them, and it's important that we make sure that our friends are seeing success in their content endeavors as well as just chilling here. Yeah, Ryan, we need to give you mod. What are we doing here? Yeah, no, you're welcome, Ryan, anytime. Thank you so much for letting us use your... Already subbed to Ryan? See? There we go. He knows what's up. RG5 Gaming, he knows what's up. You guys should be as cool as him and go subscribe. I need water. Or I guess not water because I don't have water, but Coke. Because hydration is important. Alright, right there we have Hunter's feed. I'm going to attempt to switch the name of that on the overlay so we can see that. But it was giving me issues earlier, so hopefully those issues are done. But you never know. Technology, guys, it likes to be difficult, but we need it. Oop, that is not it. There we go. And pretty soon here we should see Caleb's name switch to Hunter, as of course that is the storm chaser that we have out here in southern Kansas, just south of Ryan Shoal. He is right here. And it looks like we did have his location and name update, so that is amazing. We're going to go ahead and see if Hunter has his Zello on. Hey Hunter, do you hear me? We'll give him a second to respond to that. Once again, guys, he is off here in the south near Buckland on this storm that may have some sort of tornado potential, at least more than the rest. He subbed to Ryan. Good. We love Ryan. These storms are continuing to be not very interesting, which is a shame because weather is more fun when it's interesting. Fremont, Nebraska, 60 miles an hour. Yep. It does look like, I believe that is somewhere near, or no, that's right here. Yeah. 60 mile an hour winds were expected for this area. Actually, looks like they might be doing something weird with the warnings here. Okay, no. It is still warned. There is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, including the potential for winds greater than 70 miles an hour. Nick, that's not true. We love you too when you chase, and don't attempt to hit me. No, guys, in all seriousness, we do love Nick. He is a really good friend of mine, and I've had many great times with him, including helping out in Perryton, Texas, when there was an EF3 tornado there. I went down there with Ryan or Nick and a few other members of the Yell Squad, which I am a part of through Ryan Hall. And we went down there and we just helped out those people. We gave away multiple chainsaws, generators, and a bunch of other supplies that you may need to help out, or that you may need to rebuild after a tornado occurs. And actually, let me see if I can't pull up some quick pictures of Perryton here. I have a couple that I took when we were there from this, or just of the devastating damage. They're here somewhere. I know I have them. We just gotta find them. I got you a write-up for calling off your job. Hey, I did not condone calling you off your job, but you did that. And if your work really wants to be mad at you for helping others, that's a decision they can make, man. But that is definitely a little silly. All right, so I got my picture here. Just need to get it pulled up on screen. Discord, my channel. Open in browser. Did not open in a browser. We love technical issues. There we go. Here it is. So this is what it looked like in Perryton, Texas when we got there to help out. This was an EF3 tornado. I believe they had wind speeds of 145 miles an hour. But I mean, this picture says it all. There's definitely just intense damage here. A majority of the town was weaker built homes and or trailer homes. So unfortunately, a majority of this town was just wiped off it just got wiped out. There's not much more you can say, and it's crazy just looking through it. Like, this used to be houses. There were brick buildings here in this exact location I was standing. There was actually a brick it was a brick repair place for cars. I can't think of the name right now for some reason. We're a little tired. But you can just see on the ground, you can see these waves where it looks like there was just water sitting. That's just from the intense winds of this tornado. It literally just ripped the grass and the grass just right out of the ground. It was crazy, and it's definitely something that's not fun to see. But it's great when we're able to go to those places and help out.
Hey, do you have a copy?
And we have Ryan Scholl. Let's see what he's got to say to us. Yeah, Ryan, what's up?
We should do a poll. Should I drive all the way down to southwest Oklahoma for tomorrow?
A poll. Should Ryan drive to Oklahoma tomorrow? We're gonna run a poll here, guys. One sec while I get that all typed up. Alright guys, so that poll should be in the chat. I just started it. We're going to let that run for 5 minutes until 8:15, and then we are going to get back to Ryan. Whether or not he should drive to Oklahoma. Well, okay. It's already looking like it's going to be for sure yes. Ooh, and it looks like Ryan's feed is buffering, so we're going to go ahead and switch back to radar here. Does tomorrow still look garbage on models? Tomorrow looks about as garbage as today did. Hunter, I think if Ryan goes, you might as well go with him. You two can go have a great time there in Oklahoma. Like we said earlier, there's a large 2% risk for tornadoes tomorrow, and that almost certainly means that we are going to see a interesting tornado somewhere. There's going to be one photogenic tornado, and you're either there or you're not. Okay, well, I really don't see this poll switching from a yes, so we're just gonna end it here. It's most definitely a yes, and we're gonna go ahead and let Ryan know, as well as getting his opinion on what he thinks is going to happen tomorrow. All right, Ryan, well, we ran that poll for about 2 minutes, and a very overwhelming majority of people did say you should go chase tomorrow. So you're chasing tomorrow. That decision has been made. But I want to know what you think about tomorrow's tornado potential and just overall severe potential. Give him a second to respond there. Oh, cheese curds.
I really do think tomorrow's main threat is that very large hail. But if we can get a couple discrete storms, that won't be entrained by other storms, we can really get some tornado potential. The sector parameters are crazy as of right now, so I guess we'll see what happens.
All right, so there we go. He does think that there is some potential for tornadoes tomorrow. And while we wait for this event to do anything at all, we should go ahead and take a look at models for tomorrow in mainly the Texas and Oklahoma region. South Central, there we go. So we are going to start out here. The ARRR is still running, so unfortunately we cannot use that just yet. But we are going to come over here and take a look at the NAM. Now, if you know anything about weather models, you know the NAM likes to be funny and tell us that crazy things are going to happen. So this is a really good model if we want to get hyped up. Here's the STP he was talking about.
A new
this
PDS severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
And we're going to go into tomorrow. Now, if you guys want to see the time is right here. Unfortunately, I can't make it any bigger, but I will point out any significant time. So right here around 7, this is in the morning. There is already some favorable environment for tornadoes. However, this is not going to be, or there won't be any tornadoes, but this just means that our environment from here is most likely only going to strengthen. So as we pull the slider forward, we can see that area expands, and then there is most definitely a small window of enhanced STP in this area right here. But I should probably make sure that I'm even talking about the right area convection-wise before we talk about STP. We don't want to make that mistake. So yes, this is the area we're talking about. There is, or mainly right here, if we're talking about, this is behind the circle we have drawn. Right here is where we are seeing our convection. This is going to be where we mainly see that damaging hail. But we're going to take a look at the STP. And there is localized areas of STP in this area. So what that means is, I believe there's going to be mostly storms living off the environment they create tomorrow. So if a storm can become surface-based, there is a chance that it may produce a tornado, although it is not overwhelmingly obvious that there will be a tornado. Taking a look at the 850 millbar wind speeds, or our tornado juice, as we like to call it, our nadir juice, there is some areas of 800 millibar winds, and what this means is when the storms interact with this on the upper levels, that will form our rotation. And when storms rotate in the upper levels and they become surface-based, they like to produce tornadoes. You lost trust in the ARRR? Yeah, the ARRR has not been that trustworthy, but hey, we got to talk about it. All right, new destructive severe thunderstorm warning for areas in southern Nebraska. This includes the towns of Dakin, Powell, Fairbury, Jansen, Harbin. I believe that's Ellis. Yep. Plymouth, Swanton, Western, DeWitt, Wilbur, Clantonia, and we're going to go ahead and include Pickerel and Beatrice as well. You guys are under destructive severe thunderstorm warning, so there is going to be tornado force winds, or tornado force straight line damaging winds in this area. So we should be taking this seriously. Get to your safe places. You don't want to be near, or you don't want to be outside or near any glass windows, because these straight line damaging winds will pick up debris and throw those at 80 miles an hour into the side of your house. And obviously, that's no fun. Coming back down here to the south near Hunter, it looks like he finally got his special weather statement. Remember, SPS stands for something poopy. I don't know what it stands for. I already forgot what we said it stood for, so I'm not even going to try and say something. But it looks like we might have a little bit of a dangly bit coming off this storm. So maybe, just maybe, in the future, we may see a tornado from the storm. We're actually going to go ahead and get an update from Hunter. Hey, Hunter. We're going to see if he has his Zello on. Looks like Ryan's stream is frozen, as well as Hunter's. Hopefully we can get those fixed here in a second. Random Supercell, North Dakota. Oh god, what's North Dakota doing? We already had the South Dakota funny. Wow, I see it already. Right there. You really can't make this stuff up. Like, I told you guys, North Dakota, South Dakota, they like to do random things. And it looks like this is probably not going to last too much longer, but it is a strong storm for the areas that it may impact. However, it does not, or it should really not be in a favorable environment at all. Flooding is absolutely a massive concern with this line. Where are you? And then we can take a look at that flooding threat. We're going to come back down here to the south if GR2 lets me move. And take a peek at what these two people are doing. These are our two storm chasers. We have Ryan Shaw on the top and Hunter, who's frozen on the bottom. They are down here, and what remains of our tornado threat, right now, our front is about right here. And anything, or I guess it's more of right here, and anything on this side of our front will only pose maybe a spin-up tornado threat, but it most likely will not produce any tornadoes at all. So as far as tornado threat goes, we're really only looking at this area of storms right here. Go back down here to Texas, see what these storms are doing down here flooding wise. Now it does look like these are starting to weaken as well as pick up a little bit more forward speed than what we had seen when they were producing flooding. So hopefully the remainder of our flooding potential is dwindling. Wow. I just want to take a minute to note what this is. This is well in the past, but right here we have a TBSS, or a 3-body scatter spike. Now, what this is you can see this area of very strong reflectivity right here. So we're actually going to draw a beautiful picture to show what is happening. So we have our radar site right here. Wow, that looks like a radar tower. And then over here, we have our storm. And then we have some hail under it. This is hail, guys, in case you didn't know. Wow, that's really big hail. So now what happens is the radar beam goes out from our radar tower, and it hits this hail, and it gets sent down into the ground. And then it comes back up, hits the hail again, and then goes back to the radar. Now, normally what we have happen is the beam would just come from the radar, hit the precip or hail, and then return back. But when we have a lot of hail or a bunch of very big hail, we see something more like this, where it hits the hail, hits the ground, hits the hail, and then comes back. So this will make the beam think that it is further away than it really is, because the radar measures the time that it takes for something to return as well as the strength. So it is taking longer for this hail to hit, or longer for this beam to return, because it's hitting the ground and then going back. So it thinks that that precip is actually out here, when in reality it's still just inside the hail core with the rest of the precipitation. So that's something interesting. You guys can tell your parents you learned something today, because they always ask. Keep this up, the ply is going to fill all the way up. Yep. Alright, back up here. Come on, what we got going on here? Sorry guys, have to respond to some quick messages here. This is almost done in terms of tornado potential, but we're going to stick around here for a little longer before wrapping things up. I think we should aim for at least the 2-hour mark in terms of how long the stream lasts. So that's about another 11 minutes. So we're going to be here at least another 82. 11 minutes. Sorry, I'm getting tired. I'm sure you guys are too. Wow. Look, guys, we have an 82 mile per hour wind report from an emergency manager measured by an EM. So this is most likely a handheld anemometer. So this is a very, very trustable source. 82 miles an hour. That's a lot of wind. So we should be taking this seriously. And if we are in this destructive severe thunderstorm warning, we should be in shelter, because it's going to seem like a tornado went through, or is going to go through, but it was just a tornado. Or not just a tornado, it was just damaging straight line winds from this thunderstorm. Caleb, you are here, right? I believe he's here. Alright, he is. I believe you saw, but Hunter is having issues keeping his stream up. So I'm going to go ahead and put you back in that slot.
Sounds good.
Alright, just updating our overlay here. This is a two-man show right now between Caleb and I. There is no other help from the outside other than our moderators, which of course we love our moderators. Always here to hype everyone up and keep things safe for everyone. I don't know about you, Caleb, but I think this event is pretty much over.
Yeah, just from my initial looks here after getting back on the radar, it looks like the main threat really is gone. It's really just rain at this point. I mean, the flash floods threat west of Abilene is definitely still there. Definitely something that if you're in that area in Texas to keep an eye on towards Colorado City, Sweetwater, Snyder, Big Springs. But honestly, I think that main risk where we had that enhanced risk with the 5% for tornadoes today has pretty much died out. Honestly, I think once it really, the northern play, once it gets past Omaha, I think we're not going to see another severe thunderstorm warning. I could be wrong. There might be one for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but that hail is going to pretty much diminish completely. And then once I think, like I said, once we get east of Beatrice as well in southern Nebraska there, we're going to see those two warnings expire as well.
Yep, I think we are almost done here. Sorry about that, guys. I've been talking a lot today. I was talking a lot even before this stream. And talking is not fun. You know, I really don't know how Ryan talks for 12 hours nonstop. And Andy. They're both like so good at this. They just like talk and talk and then talk and then talk. It's like, Jesus, where'd you get this vocal strength from? Come back up here to South Dakota. Caleb, I'm not sure if you saw this when we were gone, but North Dakota is doing the funny. Do you want to take a look up near Lawton, North Dakota? That is up near the Canada border. We actually do have a mini supercell, and we were talking about that before, that North Dakota and South Dakota like to be funny.
Yeah, I've actually been watching this. It's probably been severe warned for almost an hour and a half now in total. And I watched it when it popped up originally over by the Harvey area and kind of built into something. There was actually one point where it looked like it had a little bit of circulation on it. And there still might be a tiny bit, but nothing that I'd be like, oh my gosh, we need to look at that. Obviously, it's a little far from the radar to have like a great look at it, but yeah, I'm surprised that we're seeing supercells this far north, and I wouldn't be surprised if we look up in Winnipeg, there in Canada, if there's some cells that are just lingering up that far north as well.
Yep, that's just how the north works. This happened about 38 minutes ago, but I do still want to go ahead and point it out because it is important. But the Storm Prediction Center did update our convective outlook. So this is for the remainder of tonight. This is through, I believe it's 5 a.m. Central tomorrow. There is a very skinny slight risk here in Minnesota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and a marginal risk around that. But this is, or we do still have a small corridor of a 5% tornado threat that is completely in Kansas. Actually, it looks like it's perfectly from the northern edge of Kansas to the southern edge of Kansas, so that's a little funny. And there is also a 2% tornado potential from Nebraska all the way down through Oklahoma into the Panhandle region. So it looks like the main threats here are still that very large hail and damaging winds. Tornado potential isn't too interesting. Let's see if they have anything here about tornado potential. Just give me a second to skim over this quickly. Yeah, there's really not anything interesting here. It seems like they're also agreeing that this is almost over. In fact, I am surprised to see a 5% tornado threat remain in place. I would have gone with a 2% or honestly no percent. But hey, we love the SPC and they do a great job most of the time forecasting these events. So just keep in mind for the next little of bit, what we have here on screen right here with our 5% risk like this is no longer accurate. I do not know when that's going to update. I will actually try to force an update here, but it is now much skinnier than that. See if that did it. Nope. So our place file here is slightly behind. Let's come back up here into Nebraska and look at our 80 mile per hour wind producer. It does look like hopefully this is starting to weaken a little bit. The front edge of that system is getting a little more ragged, and that normally just means that it's starting to weaken. And weakening is a good thing, and hopefully pretty soon it's completely gone. So I think we are going to stick around here until we see this warning up here in the north get canceled, and then these two warnings be downgraded beneath a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. As far as tornado potential goes, I don't see any tornado potential. Back down here in Texas, it looks like we have still just a couple of hailstorms. They recently trimmed this watch, so it's now just a little bit of counties. I have not seen any news from the NWS that they are considering issuing another watch any further east than this. So I do believe that this is almost over in terms of severe threat. However, if they do issue a new watch, there would probably be just for these 6 or so counties right here. And maybe a couple down here to the south, but that is still very unlikely. Let's see what we got going on here near Del Rio. If you guys are frequent people of weather, or you frequent the WX Twitter community, you know that we like to make jokes about Del Rio, because Del Rio seems to just be one of those places that has crazy tornadoes for no apparent reason. See if they have changed this warning at all. Looks like it remains a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the next half hour. Pretty soon, I believe it will be canceled because the storm's just not going to be there, and there's no point in warning nothing. And not only like it's nothing in terms of a threat, there will literally be nothing there. Clovis, yeah, we did have a little bit of Clovis funny yesterday in New York, or not New York, New Mexico, wrong new. And Clovis did what it always does and produced crazy storm structure. Yes, guys, Caleb is not in college, luckily. He's in a much more fun place than I am, because I am at college. I'm here at UWSP, but he is in Pikeville, Kentucky, filling up the place that I left when I left to come back to school. I was there this summer for 3 months, having the time of my life there. And for some reason or another, I ended up back here in college, pursuing a piece of paper. So hopefully soon I will get that piece of paper, and not just any piece of paper, a piece of paper with my name and the college name on it. That means I'm smart. Can we go to a Pikeville weekend? I wish. Gas is expensive, man. If you chase a lot, you know that gas is expensive. UW Stevens Point, yep, that's the one. I am literally here in Stevens Point right now. Right now. What is going on up here? we should start to see these warnings get removed. Oh, they reissued it as a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So at this point, it is safe to say that this is no longer a destructive threat. So we're gonna go ahead and just for fun cross this warning polygon out like it's not even there, and only focus on that considerable because it is definitely weakened. 70-mile-per-hour winds and 0.75 inch hail. So that is no longer in the destructive threshold. Come back down here to the south. See what our two little friends down here are doing. It looks like they're on this overconvected mesoscale madness. Nothing down here looks too tornadic. We'll just go ahead and do a quick skim through just to make sure because it doesn't hurt. There's nothing. There's literally nothing in terms of tornado potential. I think it's safe to say that today was not what today could have been, and we definitely could have seen more tornadoes, but we didn't, and that is a good thing. All right, Caleb, what do you think about just the overall threat for the rest of the day?
Yeah, just to reiterate what I kind of said earlier, I think pretty much the main hail threat, or the main threat's going to be kind of hail and damaging winds at this point, if anything. But even that's pretty low at this point. There's a few more severe thunderstorm warnings out and about. But for the most part, they've all kind of dwindled off, and I don't think we're going to see very many more pop-ups. I honestly think that there's a higher threat that we see more like significant effect from weather down south in Texas from the flash flood warnings than we will actually up north from anything that is going to come from this line of storms at this point. Really, it's just going to be rain, maybe some wind. You're definitely hear some thunder and lightning as it pushes across Iowa and Missouri later on tonight. But I think that for the most part, everyone is in the clear from any sort of significant severe weather. You might see a couple hailstones fall, but beyond that, I think we're pretty much good.
Yep, and I would agree with that. I'm going to quickly ask Ryan if we can show the tornado that he saw today on stream, because there was a tornado today and he saw it and it looked crazy. So 1 second while I reach out to him. Hey Ryan, do you mind if we show the tornado you saw today on stream?
Go right ahead.
Thanks, buddy. All right, so here we can show it to you guys. Right here we have this beautiful tornado that Ryan saw today south of Winona in Kansas. This is like one of the craziest tornadoes I've ever seen in terms of what it looks like. You can definitely see our ground circulation here, so this does in fact mean it's tornado. And just look at how raggedy this funnel is. Like, this is crazy. This reminds me of like a more or a messier version of what we saw a couple weeks ago in Yuma, Colorado. I'm sure if you guys are frequently checking out the weather community, you remember Yuma. But this is one of the crazier tornadoes I've seen this year. In fact, I'm gonna say that this may be a candidate for TOTY or Tornado of the Year, just because it's so crazy and photogenic. Yeah, it certainly does look pretty. And guys, please go over to Twitter and give Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl a follow. I will post his links in chat, but he's once again just a great friend of mine. And he's always out chasing these things. I think he's probably seen the most tornadoes out of anyone this year, without a doubt. He's definitely up there in terms of candidates for Storm Chaser of the Year. And he's just an overall great person. He's a 19-year-old living the dream. Like, there's not much more to say. And he's been here in chat, so I wonder if he's still here right now watching us talk about him. But that would be pretty funny. Unfortunately, it looks like his stream is frozen right now. I'm going to see if I can refresh that. Oh, there we go. We got it back. He is he's in an alleyway. So that's a little interesting. Oh, we're moving out of the alleyway. Okay, it looks like there is a lot of debris on the ground there, actually. There was a lot of leaves on the ground. I'm not sure if that had something to do with tornado. Oh, he's in Taco Bell. Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Ryan. You made me really, really hungry for some Taco Bell. Caleb, what's your favorite thing from Taco Bell? Possibly the most important question I've asked today.
So I'm really weird when I go to Taco Bell. I go to the value menu and they have a like beef burrito thing. And it's got like beans, rice, beef, and the cheese sauce. But I take the beans and the rice and literally just get beef and cheese sauce wrapped in a tortilla.
That sounds delicious, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
In Canada, like they have that. That's the beef burrito. It's literally just meat and cheese. In the US, it's not a thing, so you just got to take things out of your beef burrito.
That sounds like the classic US food, not comparing to any other country remotely.
Mm-hmm. And then in Canada, they also have like loaded cheesy fries and everything. It's pretty top notch up there. And poutine, of course.
Yes, poutine. Guys, if you don't know what poutine is, it's time you find out what poutine is. Find a place near you that serves poutine and go and get poutine, because poutine is the best food of all time, no questions asked. I think, dude, guys, should we ask Ryan what he ordered from Taco Bell? I think we need to ask. All right, Ryan, we're having the most important conversation of the night talking about Taco Bell, and we need to know what you ordered and what your favorite thing from Taco Bell is.
Well, you're at Taco Bell, and they just brought back the nacho fries, so I got the nacho fries deluxe cravings box. And of course, my favorite thing from Taco Bell is the nacho fries.
Hey, there we go, another nacho fries fan. Also, my favorite thing from Taco Bell is the rolled tacos, which I actually have, funny enough, right next to me, my school's knockoff version of the chicken tacos from Taco Bell. I think we should take a look at these. Should we take a look at some college food, guys? Will the storms do literally nothing? Wow, I only have 2 left. But here we have the amazing chicken roll tacos from either. Kind of look a little gray. I don't even know if you can hear me talking. But yeah, that's what we have here. Some delicious rolled tacos, and I just got rice all over my keyboard. I actually have 5 of these bad boys too. These chicken rolled tacos, Cinnabon Delight Smack.
Are you sure those are safe to eat?
I don't know if they're safe to eat, but this is like all I'm provided in terms of food from my school. The rest of it is less safe to eat and even more concerning looking. It is school food.
That looks pretty bad.
No, they're actually pretty good. If I could only get one thing from my school, I would get these, and I'm sure you can look and that's saying something, because they're concerning. The rice, on the other hand, I got the rice to try. The rice is terrible. It tastes like you're like taking Tabasco sauce and just like putting drops of it on your tongue. It's something, all right. It's an experience. Other than that, we like to rely on pizza rolls, because the school gives us normal pizza rolls in a box from Totino's, and pizza rolls are delicious, and you can't go wrong with pizza rolls.
What did you just call them?
Pizza rolls?
Where did the pizza rolls come from?
Totino? I get it wrong?
Yeah, that's very wrong.
Well, then
it's not very wrong, but it's close. But it's Tortino's.
Tortino, same thing. I'm tired.
No, someone was gonna roast you in the chat for that one.
Oh, we're getting a Taco Bell tour on.
What?
Here we go, a Taco Bell tour on Storm Chaser Ryan Scholl. We have him here live with us guys, giving us a tour of his Taco Bell. This is the information I know you guys came here from, is what did Ryan Scholl get from Taco Bell. And actually, I think I can go ahead and turn the audio on here and we can listen to him. Yes, we can. We can listen to Ryan talk about Taco Bell.
That was worth it.
We should review as he talks about Taco Bell. I'm a big fan of the nacho fries.
Absolutely,
like, you can't go wrong anytime with nacho fries.
Yeah, nacho fries, especially, like, I don't know if you guys have Taco Bell at all, but the cheese sauce that Taco Bell gives you with nacho fries, it's so good. Like, their cheese sauce is literally to die for.
No way he's only going to eat 2 nacho fries and then put the box away.
Yeah, Larned, Kansas Taco Bell. Shout out to them. They're
Come on.
saving my life. We're gonna do another. We're just gonna do another.
Oh, he's just like teasing us, eating one fry at a time here.
Yep.
Should we get him? We're gonna have him put the box back up here, so we can get another review.
Steers? What's steers?
Hey Ryan, can you please hold that box back up for us? We were going to do a review of those nacho fries, but we can't see them anymore. Hey Ryan, can you please hold that box back up for us? We were going to. Yeah, here we go, guys. This is what we came here for. This is prime content.
All right, so they want to see my nacho fries.
There we go. So that is an elite box. There's your fries. And where's the cheese sauce? Yeah, you can see the cheese sauce in the back right corner right there. That cheese sauce is the greatest thing of all time.
Nacho fries. Also comes with the sauce.
Yeah, there we go. There's the sauce. You have to have the cheese sauce with the nacho fries, otherwise they're just fries.
The light wasn't so bright. We're gonna try to shut it off. There we go.
Is this what you guys expected from a weather stream?
All right,
is a nacho fries nacho fries rating?
I think it should be a segment on every one of your streams, like
no, I understand what you're saying.
What the storm chasers are eating.
You guys give it a 9 out of 10. We got a 9 out of 10. If you guys don't know, Amber G just asked, what am I watching? That is my girlfriend. So apparently she is here with us right now, and she was expecting to see me talking about weather, and instead came here and I'm talking about nacho fries. So 2 things just happened. A, I successfully made her hungry and want Taco Bell. And B, I'm being judged heavily for talking about nacho fries on a weather stream. But hey, nacho fries, bro. Amber, we need to give you mod so you can delete people. Please don't delete people, but you need mod because
there's like no people here.
Yeah. A new segment. Yeah, we're gonna have to have the Taco Bell segment. Alright, so that's enough about Taco Bell. Let's go take one last look at the radar. Nothing interesting happening here. Moving up further north, nothing interesting happening there. Even further north, still nothing interesting happened. There is still these severe thunderstorm warnings moving into Iowa, and our considerable severe thunderstorm warning down here in Nebraska. Sorry guys, I don't know why I'm coughing so much. But yeah, this is going to be most likely our main threat for the rest of the night. If there is going to be any more extensions of watches, I would not be surprised if it's somewhere in this region to fill out more of this area, because I do believe we're going to see these storms remain severe slightly longer than what we anticipated. But other than that, I would say that that's pretty much all we have going on in terms of just severe thunderstorms and flooding down here to the south. It's not that interesting, and one of our severe thunderstorm warnings in Texas has been allowed to expire, and it looks like our other storm is starting to weaken as well. So just overall, we're seeing a strong weakening trend in all of our storms, and that's what we expected here, close to 9 or 10. So it does seem like we are done. But before we are done, let's go take a look at North Dakota doing the funny, because we have to appreciate North Dakota being funny.
Mm-hmm.
And she gone. North Dakota is no longer doing the funny, and it looks like we are pretty much done in terms of severe weather in the Dakotas, which is a shame because all photogenic tornadoes happened in the northern plains. Okay, well, not all, but an overwhelming majority of them happened in the northern plains. Guys, we need to pick a non-DMCA outro song. What do you think we do, Caleb? Have any suggestions?
No, because I don't know any non-copyright good songs.
That it's because they're few and
Two-
far between.
2010 would have been like Fade or Faded or whatever that song was called. Everyone knows that song if they've ever had a YouTube channel.
Drake again? Guys, I still don't know how we had Drake to start with. I don't know where Drake came from. Nobody
I've replayed the stream like 3 times and Drake was never playing.
That's so weird. But hey, apparently we had Drake at something. I know what we can do. We can crab wave our way out of this. Crab Rave is like the only decent non-DMCA song I know. So here, we're gonna go pull it up. And then do we want the are we ending stream soon? Yeah, we are. We're working on picking out a song. And I think we're gonna do Crab Rave because I can't think of any other non-DMCA song. Guys, do we want the video version of Crab Rave? Or should we want the video version? Okay.
Oh yeah.
We want the video version. We're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a little stream ending screen here with Crab Rave. We can't start it yet. We're not done with it. 4K video downloader because I don't have this installed on my computer yet. Probably just installed a couple of viruses, but no, I'm kidding. I've used this before. It works. It's the best. All right, we're almost there. Now we're going to close this weird site. We're done with it. Yeah, Jared, go ahead and do that. Guys, before this stream ends, don't forget, if you're watching and you are yet to subscribe to the channel, do that. And like this, so next time we have a stream, you guys get information about that stream as well.
You're definitely gonna get a virus.
No, I actually use this all the time. I had it installed, but I had to redo everything on my PC a couple days ago because I was forced to upgrade to Windows 11, and it crashed my entire computer. Okay, did this successfully download? Go in folder. There we go. We have to install a free extension to watch this video because it's an AV1. That's so annoying. We're almost done. Boom.
Right, why didn't you just play it off YouTube at this point?
Because we're making its own scene, so we can do it next time as well.
Oh.
So I have to go through all this hard work to be able to do that. Boom, new stream. It's not black, guys, I promise. We're just doing live production. So we'll paste that in here. We can't just paste that in there. I lied. Need to copy that.
You've done broke your entire stream.
Oh, it ain't done broke yet. We're working on it. They can see things slowly coming together. Very slowly, in fact. I'm sure this is all they dreamed that it would be. Boom. Display capture. Add existing. Lower middle. Okay, wow. Amazing. Blow this up so it takes up the full screen. We're almost done here, guys. We just have to do all this work for no apparent reason. We're almost done. Okay, now we need text. We gotta add that beautiful... You're confused. If you just got here, that's probably why you're confused.
I wish Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley was copyright free.
Yeah. Imagine that every time we end stream.
Just Rickroll everybody.
That'd be a great way to go out, honestly. Alright, hey, we did it. This stream is ending. That's such a beautiful screen.
That's great font.
That's my font, guys. I copyrighted it. I didn't actually. Alright, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Next time that we have a severe threat, I will be back here with information. Actually, I should switch to my camera. I'll be back here with information on that right here on this channel. So if you have not already, subscribe to this channel, click the bell so you get those notifications. I have a new video coming up soon, our winter outlook. And yeah, that's all I have. So we're gonna test this beautiful outro.